Ah yes, Primal Rage. It was developed and published by Atari Games, and it was a versus fighting game. It was first released in 1994 as an arcade video game, but later it was ported to many numerous consoles such as the PlayStation, the Sega Saturn, the Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo, and later the PC. Primal Rage today was also included in the Midway Arcade Treasures 2, which was released for the PlayStation 2 as an emulation of the game. The storyline of Primal Rage tells that a meteor strike has devastated the Earth. Rainforests cover the land, and civilization has been slimmed down to rubble, and humans have reverted into tribes of Stone Age dwellers. In the New World, referred as Earth, spelled U-R-T-H, many new species have evolved, such as giant mutated apes and reptiles, that have changed into dinosaur-like beasts. But printed in an issue of GamePro in 1995, it stated that there is evidence to suggest that each character is a tongue-in-cheek reference to a fighter from the original Mortal Kombat. The individual traits, personality, and special moves from each character resemble those of a counterpart in the Mortal Kombat lineup. Armanon's power of electricity is like Raiden's. Blizzard has freezing attacks that disable the opponent like Sub-Zero. Diablo has a distant attack which drags the opponent near and breathes fire like Scorpion. Talon has a flying kick resembling Liu Kang's. Sauron has moves which produce shadows similar to Johnny Cage. Vertigo fits the lone female character, producing ring-shaped projectiles similar in nature to Sonya. Finally, the barbaric nature and cannonball move of Chaos is comparable to Kano. The game is seen in an episode called Game Over in Dexter's Laboratory, in which Dee Dee and Dexter play the Primal Rage spin-off, Primal Fighter. Dexter's character of choice was a Sarun-alike, while Dee Dee favored the Blizzard look-alike. But what about sequels? The game was very popular, but was there going to be a Primal Rage 2? Initially, there was. It was never released, and it was going to be produced by Atari. The game it featured new characters that took the form of humans that were called avatars. The plot centered around in the years after the gods fought again, similar to how the storyline went in the first Primal Rage. There was much anticipation centered around the upcoming game. Unfortunately, it wasn't the same for the production. The game didn't get very far in production, and Atari felt that the game wouldn't generate enough sales. They later announced the cancellation through not many people knew about it. After that, Primal Rage's popularity died down. But wouldn't you believe it, Primal Rage was even in a book. After Primal Rage 2 was cancelled, Atari felt that it was necessary to somehow present the story for the sequel in one form or another. Thus, in 1997, Primal Rage: The Avatars, which was written by John Vornholt and was published by Boulevard Books. The book plot tells about what happened to the dinosaur gods 65 million years ago and moves into the main story of the gods' region in Earth renewed. Once the game got started, you got a choice between 7 characters. Talon, Cerebra, Vertigo, Blizzard, Chaos, Armon, and Diablo. And one I could not read fast enough. It starts off in a battle screen which was very similar to people known to the Street Fighter games. This was very similar by choosing a character and then punching everyone. There was an option of 2-player in each of the games where you can just stick in the second controller and press start so that you could play a second player. I have chose Talon, and you can see me here. just testing out the controls. Up will make your character jump. Instead of pressing a button A, B, or C to jump, you press actually up to jump, and you press A, B, and C as action buttons. If you do not actually have a 6-button controller and only a 3-button controller, the start button acts as a 4th button for your 3-button controller for your Genesis. As you can see, there's people that are in the background that will just continue to walk around for some reason, and they will be hit randomly sometimes. But after I read the history before the gameplay, you probably wouldn't know anything about the storyline unless you read the manual that came with the game. Now, if you got your game later, when you only could get the cartridge and not the manual in the box it came with, you would have no clue what the storyline in the game was at all. You just think it's another one of those 2-player fighting games. As you see, I just lost to the computer. Okay, so as you can see, it's a pretty fun game, especially with 2 players mode. But for me, I'd start to get bored playing it after a while. But that's me. Rating it out of 1 to 10, for me, without doing any surveying of the whole game, I'd probably give it a 7. Reasoning is because it's fun to play, beat up people, especially with 2 players, but miss points because, well, it'd kind of get boring, beating up same people and other people and then mixing it up and whatnot. But hey, maybe you give it a 10, 8, 9, whatever. Or maybe you hate it. That's great. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think of it. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and comment on the video. And let me know what I can change around with my video game reviews. Thanks for watching.